How you doing?
Coach, you had probably the majority of the Iowa fans, more Iowa fans than Northwestern fans there last week. A lot of Big Ten duels close to home. Do you guys, if the schedule's going to work out that way, take it?
Yeah, we'll take it, and we're going to be on a plane, 2 more times this year. So that's good. We got the Big Tens in Iowa City. The Nationals will get on a plane, and that'll be an easy flight. And then we go to Montana here third week in February or so, second week in February. So it is a close to home schedule, but wherever you're going to compete, you got to go compete. And however that shakes out, it shakes out. The one thing about Iowa fans is no matter if it's a close dual meet like in Ames or wherever, it seems like we had more fans there as well, but they always show up. And they even show up in places where it's kind of hostile. Like even in Penn State, when they broke the record, there were some Hawkeye fans, and we hear them. There's no doubt that we hear them.
For just the second time Wisconsin's wrestling in the Kohl Center, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I knew that, and just a little bit of rigmarole at the weigh-in, and we got that figured out yesterday, and so wherever we go, we go. Could be a opportunity for a big crowd, and we'll see. But either way, we got to get ready, and they got a 65-pounder that might be the #1 ranked guy in America. And that's a weight that, we got 2 options there that need to emerge and see where we're at. And so it's another opportunity against a good wrestler.
Coach, what's it like going up against Barry? What kind of relationship do you have with him?
I have a good relationship with Barry. I have a relationship with Barry dating way back. And he used to hand me my lunch a lot. And he taught me a lot of wrestling. And he was one of the icons when I was growing up. Not only was he a great Hawkeye, a 3-time national champion, but also international wrestler. He's a world silver medalist, Olympic silver medalist, and those are the things that my brother and I aspired to. So Barry Davis was our weight class as well. So as far as cutting your teeth with a guy that has already done it or was in the moment doing it, there's a lot of history there that brings back good memories. And I remember in 1988, I was a true freshman, and I went home and I was bored after about 2.5 days, and so it must have been coincidence, but he said, "Hey, I need guys in Iowa City. Can you come back?" And I didn't have a vehicle at the time, but I giddy up. I got on a horse and made my way down to Iowa City from Sheldon, and on horseback. That's not true, but and got in with the training with Barry because he was in the '88 Olympics. And I remember riding a bike with him while he ran and running stairs with him. And at that point, that was probably the biggest jump that my wrestling took. It wasn't during the structured workouts. It was during that time period where I trained side by side with the bad Barry Davis.
You guys have 6 Big Ten dual meets this month. How do you guys kind of respond now that you're kind of in the heart of Big Ten dual meet season?
First of all, Big Ten duels are important for seeding. That's important for seeding. We emphasize that. Our guys are aware of that. They know that it has postseason ramifications. That's important. Other than that, it's just like I say about everything else. It's the next event on the calendar. You get ready to go. We have 1 dual meet this weekend. That's what you're gearing for, and it's important. I mean, 165, 133, 74, they probably feel pretty good about more than I see on paper. I mean, it's kind of like the Northwestern duel. We're anxious to see every one of our guys every time they go out and compete, because a record or a ranking or how a guy's been doing in the past means nothing. And you can't allow yourself to get ambushed. And that's why we look forward to these events, whether it's a guy that's ranked 17th, a guy that's ranked 31st, or a guy that's the #1 guy in America. I mean, go out and compete, and that's one of the messages that Terry's been emphasizing to a couple of our guys, and then also to the team, but more directed at a couple of guys where a guy like Edwin Cooper, you can't wrestle different because it's Isaiah Martinez. you have to wrestle the same with who you're competing against. And if those guys can grow up and take ownership of that, I think we can do pretty well with the guys that are the question marks in our lineup. But if they continue to wrestle differently, tell you what, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. You know what? It's hard enough. And so make it easier on yourself by, compete with confidence. I mean, the way Edwin Cooper went out against Northwestern, he needs to go out and wrestle the same way no matter who it is. And that doesn't mean that the result's going to be the same, but it does mean that you're going to give yourself the best chance. And then that's how you start to learn how to win big matches in big settings. Our poster says always on the big stage. Well, as an individual, you can't pick what stage you want to be on either, or your opponent. You got to take what comes up. And if we're always on the big stage, then we need to start, believing that at every weight class. That's important. Maturity.
How far did Northwestern's performance? You talked about it during media day about getting extra points, continuing to be aggressive from start to finish.
Yep.
At each individual weight class, is that what you want to see more?
Yeah, it was good. It was good because, there were 6 points that we left off the board. I mean, that's a pretty good performance, and I would have really liked to see bonus points at 165 because we were in position to do it, and then nothing happened in the third period, a long stalemate, and just let the guy kind of take over a little bit of momentum-wise, and those are things that, kind of irk me. And get them. I mean, it's history, It's the next time out. That goes in the books. And you know what, Rhodes, you're a senior. So let's feel really, really good every time out. And let's not wrestle 5.5 minutes, which is a 7-minute match. Let's wrestle all 420 seconds. But I'm being kind of hard on him there. But, you ask about it, and, Ironside said it on the radio. The other thing that was real positive was the variety. What you were seeing guys do, it wasn't just the same thing over and over. You saw guys do the things that you see them doing here more. And that's important to see it out there because, success breeds confidence, and that's what we need. We need that with a lot of our guys, and you see Sorensen take down Surtis in overtime. Didn't really get to him until overtime in the Midlands, and then in this match he gets to him, early in the second period after putting a good ride on him for 30 or 35 seconds, and so that and then it was to the other side. So just a lot of good things and all the way around. But we're greedy too, and I want to see, improvement at the highest level and going forward. And so, like in my head right now, and I'm talking a lot right now, but I'm going backwards to Rhodes at Illinois against, the Rodriguez guy. I mean, we didn't compete against that guy. It's similar to Cooper there against Martinez. So we need to compete when those guys are ranked 4, 5, 3. It doesn't matter. 1. It doesn't matter. Compete, wrestle, fight.
Brody,